So then that brings us to the song that kind of triggered this whole interview.
Right.
Which is White Rappers, A Good Guest.
That's right.
So, I'm on my Apple Music and I'm looking at the new releases and I see that there's a new album by your Old Droog. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, let me, I didn't really get to check out the first album, so I'm like, let me check out this album. So I'm reading through it, I'm listening to it, and then that song comes on and I'm like, wait, that's Lord Jamar. I'm like, wait. Not only is that Lord Jamar, that sounds like our interview.
Yo, stop lying, Vlad. You know somebody sent that to you, man.
No, I swear to God. No, I'm not even bullshitting.
Dead ass?
No, I'm dead ass. Like, I mean, there's no reason to, to lie about this. Like, I was, because it was a new release, right? Because, there's only a few new releases every few days or whatever. I'm in my car listening to it, and it's like, that's one of the new releases.
No, I'm glad you heard it like that, though.
Yeah.
You probably
no one was like, yo, check this out, Vlad. This dude's, sampling his shit. No, I'm listening to it, and I heard it, and I'm like, Droog took part of our interview, which has become sort of a legendary interview over the years.
That interview's great.
Sampled it and turned it into a song. And it turned out dope. So tell me about what led up to you doing this and kind of how it came together.
I mean, you can take the credit, man. I heard the interview. I'm a big Brand Nubian fan, man. Like, I love Puba, Jamar, Sadat, like, underrated, super underrated. Like, that's what I was listening to in college when I was trying to get knowledge itself. I ain't mean for that to rhyme. But like, yeah, that shit got me through college, you know what I mean? Even though I ain't even get a degree. I spent like 6 years and I didn't even get an associate's degree. But yeah, I was just watching that interview, and as soon as I heard him say, white rappers, I was like, that's how you start a song. You know what I mean? That's what sparked it. And what the song is about is kind of like, it don't matter your color, you know what I mean? Are you nice? Are you good? Are the songs good? Are the beats good? That's the whole thing. And for the record, I agree with what he said. White people are guests in the house of hip hop. So I'm a good guest. I had that line in the previous song called Nutty Bars where I said I'm a good guest and an ill host. I was like, yo, let's scratch that. You know what I mean? When he says a guest, a good guest, fuck it. It's a dope song, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree as well. I believe that white people in general are guests in hip hop. And what was interesting was that me and Jamar had done this interview, and we did a bunch of other interviews afterwards. And then someone had sent me this old interview I did years before me and Jamar really hooked up, where people asked me about white people in hip hop, and I actually said the same thing. White rappers are guests. I feel like a guest in hip hop, and I feel privileged to be able to work within this art form and, influence it and move it and be respected in it. And it was interesting how like those pieces kind of came together. And I just feel like as a white person, you could be in hip hop, but you have to be respectful about the culture.
Absolutely, you gotta respect the history of it. It's about your intent and your motives too. Like, why are you in this? Like, you just trying to get a buck? And I don't know. Like, I mean, we're all in it to make money. Like, some people just exploit the shit out of it. Like, they don't care about it. Like, I was doing, I was rhyming when I didn't think I'd ever get paid off it. And then for like 10 years, I got after 10 years, I got a $750 check, $750. Like, so, I know how pure my intentions are. You know what I mean? Not everybody's like that. And not just white people. Some people just, milking the game.
Well, when I interviewed Jamar last time,
he asked me if you're a culture vulture, and I'm like, when you think about the term culture vulture, which I feel like the technical term is one who is from outside usually, and I'm gonna say usually because I believe you can be within a culture and still be a culture vulture, but usually a culture vulture is termed as one who is outside of a culture, who is profiting from that culture where they couldn't do it within their own culture.
Okay.
So that's, and if you look at that technical terminology, is that what you do?
I profit from hip hop.
Yes. But now I also went on to say, in your defense, that I believe that there's many different degrees to this shit. And although you may be a culture vulture, I believe you truly do care about hip hop.
I'm sure you've heard the whole culture vulture thing in your comments and so forth.
In regards to me,
Yeah.
I mean, that shit is not, it's not substantial, you know what I mean? It's just somebody on the internet. Like,
Right.
you know, one of the things Jamar said is like, hip hop is a hood thing. Yeah, when I was coming up, it was kind of like a hood thing, and like I'm ethnically ambiguous. So like I could be Spanish, I could be Arabic, whatever. That shit, nobody was like, yo, white dude right here. You know what I'm saying? I was just getting on, like doing my thing off the strength of how nice I was. Like none of that shit mattered. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Like when my project came out, somebody was like, oh, he's this Russian kid or whatever. Like, I ain't mean for anybody to know what the fuck I was. You know what I'm saying? Somebody jumped out the window and did that. Like, I was just trying to, listen to, fuck who made it. Listen to the rhymes and the beats. That's it. So, like, culture vulture, eat a dick. Nah.
I mean, how would you define culture vulture?
I guess somebody who's not contributing anything to the culture and just using it all for, like, selfish reasons. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck about hip hop at all. Like, they couldn't tell you the lyrics from a Rakim song, you know what I'm saying? But like they're in privileged positions and shit to say what's hot. But like you never heard like Criminal Minded or nothing like that. It's somebody who's just, there's plenty of cats like that. And women.
As someone who is really focused on lyrics, like when you listen to Droog, clearly you're doing a lot of writing. You know, you're taking this very seriously. You're doing your best to be a lyricist. You know what I'm saying? Whereas when I interview a lot of the new rappers, most of them say that they don't write. They go in the booth and they just kind of freestyle it. They punch in, they punch out, they go on to the next song. You know, some of them do a whole bunch of songs a day in this type of fashion. When you look at what's popular in hip hop today, with people doing that and the mumble rappers, how do you feel about it?
I don't listen to the radio, so I don't hear none of that. I don't go to clubs and nothing like that. So mumble rap doesn't affect my life. The way I feel like if that type of music is making you happy, then listen to it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be like, yo, lyrics, son, you gotta have lyrics. Like, I try to do it in my music and it's effortless too, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like broccoli, you know what I mean, with the chicken, with the steak, whatever. I don't think just lyrics is good either. That shit is just as whack, like whack bars is just as bad as mumble rap, you know what I'm saying? If we're talking about lyrics, but some of those dudes make good songs, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a consumer of that type of music, but it's a young thing anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like the young kids are listening to that.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like you have to be more melodic these days in the music that you make, or do you just not give a shit?
I mean, me personally, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'll make whatever. Like, if I feel like having some melody in my music, then I'm gonna do it. But like, just for artists in general, yeah, I think melody is definitely like more prevalent in hip hop, like since like Kanye put out like 808s and Drake and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I remember J. Cole had this line where he said, like, back then when you could have a hit song without a melody. And it's like, you start to think about it, like, yeah, like if you look at all the top artists, all the top rappers pretty much sing.
Yeah, I mean, but there's subtle melody too. There was melody in Biggie's rhymes, like the way he said them. Like somebody else could say those exact lines, but it wouldn't come out like that. Like those inflections, all that matters.
Yeah, man, I agree. So what's next for Droog?
I don't know, man. We'll see. I think just more music. You're gonna hear more stuff. If you want good quality rap, then you're gonna come to me. It's gonna be a one-stop shop.
You know, someone in your position, you put out 2 albums independently. I think what, Fat Beats got behind both of them?
Nah, Fat Beats distributed packs, and the first one we just did it like a little digital deal, some vinyl here and there. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, Fat Beats is kind of a small sort of entity. You know, like a niche type entity.
Right.
Do you feel like the industry is ready for Droog, or do you feel like you're going to be indie forever?
Oh hell no, indie forever. Like, imagine that. Like, yeah, yo, I think I'm cool just being here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get over here. That's a little too high. You know what I'm saying? I want to still maintain like a regular life, but I want as many people as possible to get what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And like, whatever label or place that got those resources is down to further the cause and work together, then something might work out. But I'm not signed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just a one-off.
Okay. I mean, has there been serious talks with major labels or not really?
Oh yeah. Nah, when the first album was buzzing, it was definitely like a mini bidding war, you know what I'm saying? And said no to all of them, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of remained indie.
Okay, why'd you say no to all of them?
I mean, I'd say I just wanted to wait it out a little more. I was very green too, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still learning. So nothing felt right. That's why I kind of waited.
Yeah, man. I mean, in today's day and age, it's almost better to kind of build it up yourself, because then by the time you do sign with a bigger one, with a bigger entity, you have much more of a position of power.
Yeah, you can kind of meet equally. Like, I wasn't trying to do no 360 deal. You know what I mean? And like, the labels wait until you got something like that's already hot, and then they want to do a 360 deal. Like, nah. If you found me in the alley and you shaved me like Encino Man and shit, and got me some clothes, then we could do that 360 shit. But nah, I'm good.
Yeah, well, I mean, it seems like you're doing well on your own. I mean, you're talking about, I mean, there's buzzes over the project. You're touring. You're getting shows.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, like, a real sign of success is you hearing that song. You know what I'm saying? Cause like, yo, if it would have just flown under the radar, I'd be like, damn, son, I'm not popping. Like, Vlad is like hitting me up like, yo, legal action. I'm like, all right, yo, that's just a sign of like you doing the right things. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, I didn't hit you up with legal action.
No, I'm fucking with you, nah.
Yeah.
But that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, I basically was like, listen, when I heard it, I said, I would have preferred that you came to me before it came out and just had a conversation with me, because I would have okayed it. But I'm like, okay, since it already came out, why don't you just come in, do an interview, and we'll just call it even. I
appreciate you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hearing the song and liking it, because that's how you came to me. You were just like, yo, I'm a fan. Like, that's dope, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. That's what it is. Well, Droog, appreciate you coming in, man. Much success. You know, looking to have you, our next interview, to be even bigger and have you have a much bigger platform and so forth, man.
I'm going to show up late next time, you know what I'm saying?
That's what it is.
All right,
cool,
bro.
man. We'll talk soon.
Peace.